What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? And we have another record-breaking price. One of the things I really love about this market is that when crypto runs, it actually runs. The other day I was on Twitter and I was talking a little bit about some of the stuff happening with the election, but literally I've been glued to the screen as far as what's actually happening to the market because we have a massive explosion here coming out with Bitcoin. Now let's go ahead and take a look at what's happening with Bitcoin because this is something that I find to be very interesting as we're breaking out new highs. Right now we're cracking 15,300 on Bitcoin. In fact, this area of consolidation that you see here on the 10,000 area was considered to be an area of really of big interest, especially since we kind of didn't really crack that section and now we're really ramping up. And one of the things I always try to teach people is number one is when you're looking at price action, don't listen to what people are saying, look at what they're doing. And if you take a look at what was happening here back in August and September, Bitcoin didn't really crack 10K. If it was doing a lot of nothing. And actually, even then in May, you saw it hold this 9,500. So just to give you a little bit of history lesson here, back in May, June, July, Bitcoin was consolidating for a very long time. And now you're already up about 50% on just that position from the fact by holding Bitcoin here at 10K. Now, this reminds me a lot of this parabolic run that we're running into here back in April and June when basically I went all in. I mean, literally, I posted the video and I said, I'm going to go all in on this thing. And I went ahead and margined everything to the Tilly and made some really nice gains on this side. You guys can watch that video. It's right there on my main channel. But this reminds me a lot of this time because what had happened at that time was back in March of 19, a lot of people were in the same boat as now. They were just kind of like fed up with crypto. I started seeing a lot of the negativity in the posts. I even felt like I wasn't even going to post things because people were just so negative about losing money. And what happened right afterwards is, Bitcoin surged all the way up to 14,000. And here we are at the exact same situation. And now we're clocking in at looking at Bitcoin 20K. In fact, CNBC just went ahead and started their Bitcoin price chart again, which I find to be very funny because the only time they put it out is when we're running up. But I've been here since 2017, taking a look at this, all the shenanigans that have been happening, and you guys have all been here with me, going through all the ups and downs and all the nonsense of how people come in, they cash out, they get out, they come back in. But now we're kind of right back at the start. So what I really like about this, and this is something that I've been exclusively telling people that I'm literally going all in here. I mean, I know right now you're probably thinking to yourself, well, he's probably going to go all in because it's going up, but on the next dip here at this point, I mean, there's really no other trade that you would like to be trading this in and out. At some point we're going to come right back down, but pretty much we broke that 14K level. And so now we're pretty much ripping a lot higher, and there's a high chance we're going to touch that 20K soon. This is one of the more bullish patterns. And again, I do want to caution though, that once we take away this runaway, once we go parabolic like this, remember what happened in June of 19, it went all the way up to, 14, and we just kind of sold back down. So this run could potentially eventually calm down. Okay. But if you take a look at what's happened since March, we've still riding this uptrend, and that's something that I'm still considered to be a very good indication that we continue to go higher. Now, can it go lower, and could it just pull back for profit takers? Absolutely. I mean, it's not going to go straight up like a rocket like this, and if it does, even better. But the higher up it goes, the more likely people are going to start taking profits. And that's one thing I try to teach people. I say, look, you can get excited, you can get all jumped up like I am right now because we made a killing off of this, but you can also make sure that you are aware that this is not something that, if you learn from the other lessons, that you might want to start taking profits once it starts hitting your target level. So I always tell people, I say, what is your target level? What is the area in which you're going to start taking profits? Because in my opinion, I think it's really important to not just be on the right side of the trade, but also to make sure that you are maximizing the massive moves to the upside. So to put it in perspective, what's happening here? So we got these two areas of consolidation held up around this 11,000, 10,000 area. We're already taken off right here from this zone. Historically, what has happened is when we get these massive consolidations like this, usually we do get a massive move, but then at some point we're going to end up pulling back a little bit. So I do expect some sort of pullback in the next, in the near term, maybe to 13,000 or possibly even to 12,000 at some point. But this uptrend that we're in is really what I'm more concerned about. I really want this uptrend to continue flying up to that 20K. And if we do it in a situation where it's something along these lines, where we kind of pull back, we kind of ride this line, that's exactly what I want to see. I don't want to see no parabolic runs. I don't want to see a situation where we're just going to keep on going up and up and up and up and up and then just dump all the way back down and then flush everybody out one more time, because that's going to really destroy the credibility for Bitcoin. So again, the market's going to do whatever it wants. It's not going to do what I say it's going to, I want, and it's not going to do what people all think that it's going to do. It's going to do what basically does in the past, which is basically mark its own territory. But again, taking a look at the pros and cons here for this side. Now, what are the downside risks to this side? So your downside risk is really clear. As you're kind of coming down from this parabolic, I call these little mini parabolic run right here, the one that we just started here around 10K, there's a very high chance that we could fall into that 12K area, which would eventually kind of make a little bit more sense because of the fact that as it gets detached away from this 50 and this 100 EMA, eventually it's going to resume back its uptrend. And so what you're really seeing here is a situation where Bitcoin is going to continue to really touch upon this 50 EMA line and just continue to ride that wave. Now, if it does break this, then we've got a problem. If it does break this 5100 EMA, then obviously we've got a situation where things are going to get a little bit worse, and then we're probably going to come right back down to this area, to 8,000 area. But again, that's gonna be a situation where the market's going to, sell off. Now, traditionally, I've mentioned it on my Twitter account that this is one of the most seasonally bullish areas for Bitcoin. If you are in any situation right now, if any time frame that you should be in Bitcoin, it is now. So yes, this is the time to go ahead and load up, sell all you got, get into it, because what's going to happen here is that we're probably going to take off just like what we did back here in 17. Now in 19 it was a little different, because what happened here, we started the rally in about December. Okay, so we kind of dumped here in November, rally back up. Here we're starting up that rally that's a little bit early. So if that's an indication what's happening right here, then we're probably going to get a parabolic run, a little bigger parabolic run in the future, just like what we got here back in 2017. But again, at this point, it's just kind of, it's more of a guessing game. So short-term price targets for Bitcoin still stands around 16,000, 17,000. I think we're pretty much knocking on that door here. We're kind of pulling back a little bit. Right now, we're about 14,000, 800 and change. Yeah, we're at about 14,800. We just kind of clocked that 15,000 right here, just a little earlier. So we're getting people kind of taking profits, and again, that's all definitely within the realm of possibility here, where people are actually going to be doing that. Sorry, it's actually 15,000 right now. And so when you're taking a look at these price actions, you really want to take in consideration, obviously, the longer time frames. And so here we go with the more of a weekly. You cannot get any more bullish than this. I mean, if anybody tells you anything different, they obviously don't know what they're talking about. But I was in Bitcoin a couple of weeks ago, did a couple of videos for all of you. You guys watched it. You guys saw it. You guys saw the analysis. Very, very bullish. Obviously, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks of bullish action for Bitcoin. It reminds me a lot of what happened here in 19, where we had that real consolidation. We had that run up, and then obviously we dumped. But this is a very bullish pattern. We haven't had these massive candles in a very long time. In fact, even in the April time period and even in the August time periods, we didn't really see this sustained momentum that's now really building up. So it remains to be seen whether we've got something along these lines. I'm going to highlight this area right here just to show you guys what exactly I'm talking about. So this is what we want to get. And, if Bitcoin does what it does, and let's assume we do get that parabolic run, because, and we do get that pullback, and that pullback is shallow, then we could be seeing a run to all the way to, 20K at this point, which would put Bitcoin at approximately a very nice 36% return if if Bitcoin does start continuing to really ramp up and start going in there. So basically for me, it's going to be an all-in bet here, guys. I mean, it's an all-in situation. The altcoins are still, struggling here a little bit, but they had a really nice pump, but we'll see. So yeah, so we'll take this as a boom shakalaka, guys. Boom shakalaka, where we are going to get some price action coming in, going into December, getting that plan and getting that strategy out. And that's where you have to kind of come in and say, what is the plan? What is the exit? Where am I supposed to be positioning my portfolio so that I can take advantage of that? And if you would like more information about how to do that, watch my other videos, because I did post a video earlier about my fundamental view on Bitcoin and the election cycle. And then there's also another video, which I'll probably post on the link here somewhere. You'll probably see on the top, about the actual situation happening with the Bitcoin metrics, the statistical, the data that's backing this research up. This is not just an opinion. I have facts, and I have been doing my research for the last several months, trying to prepare for this moment, trying to prepare for this 2020 trade in crypto and getting ready so that I can maximize those gains. All right, check me out on Patreon if you haven't done so. CB out. Have a great day.